Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the T is for Today podcast. My name is Jessica, and I go by Jess, and this podcast is about encouraging people to do it today and not put it off until tomorrow. I haven't done an intro like this, maybe since I created this podcast, but I felt it's a new year and we may have new listeners that don't know what this podcast is about. So I just wanted to inform you all of who I am and what this is, but you can get a more in-depth explanation of how this whole podcast even became a thing on episode 1. It's entitled Pull Up, so go ahead and pull up on that first episode. It's actually still my favorite episode that I've recorded to date. I'm only on episode 19, but it's my favorite because the things that were talked about in that podcast episode are literally timeless. The nuggets of wisdom that were given are still very, very relevant, if not more relevant than what they were when I first said it. So, hey, y'all, welcome. If you're new here, hey, I'm happy to have you. I hope you stay around for a bit and that as you come here to either this page, if you're on Instagram or if you're on YouTube or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, that you would leave here feeling encouraged to do things that maybe have been in the back of your head that you've been thinking about for a while and wondering to yourself, man, should I do it? Nah. Well, I hope that you leave here encouraged to actually do those things, pursue those dreams, take those risks, all of the things. Why? Because T is for today and not for tomorrow. Wonderful. So today's episode, guys, came to me when I was in distress. And I'm going to give y'all the story time in a little bit. But we are going to be talking about comparison. Okay? Comparison. People like to say that comparison is a thief of joy, like it steals your joy when you compare yourself to other people. I believe that, but I would also like to add that comparison is a thief of creativity and clarity, okay? Comparison robs you of focus. And focus is an acronym. And I have my notes on my phone right here, so I'm going to be looking back and forth at it if you're watching us on YouTube. Hey, y'all. All right. So, y'all need to be taking notes. Y'all need to be taking notes because, yeah, it's juicy. But the F in focus stands for freedom. So comparison steals your freedom. How does it do that? You'll start feeling the need when you start looking at how other people are doing things to start conforming to what they're doing. You're putting those things on your own projects. So let's say you see someone and they're doing something a certain way, then you start thinking that, man, I need to start doing it like that because this is the way that society has presented something to me. So, robs you of your freedom. It also robs you of opportunities. You start holding yourself back from putting yourself out there because you've compared yourself to how someone in a similar field or the same field does something. And now you're like, well, I don't do it like this person and they have such and such and such accolades or whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, or people regard them as this and this and this and that. And so you may not intentionally do it, but you may start shrinking back from things because, don't get me wrong, you could be a very confident person, but you can have that image or that thought just turning in the back of your head of what you saw, and you're like, man, they don't do it like that. It's like you start thinking that like you're an imposter, right? Oh, I didn't put that, but we already got the acronym is focus. So that bonus one, imposter, okay? You start thinking like, man, is this really what I need to be doing? Start doubting your own self, okay? Comparison robs you of the you, which is understanding. So you start questioning yourself. Why did I even want to start this in the first place? Why was I even doing any of this? Why did I feel the need to want to put my self out there in this manner? So once before, you may have been very confident in what you were doing and how you were going to do it. And then you started looking around to the left and to the right and started thinking, oh, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. Robbing you of the understanding that you once had. And then S is the sanity, y'all. Comparison robs you of sanity, because if we do not deal with it and we do not address it, the next thing that you know, it's just going to be a constant thing that everything you're going to be going back and looking at someone that is equally or more successful, seeing how they're doing, how did their project turn out, and comparing it to yours. Oh, well, they may not get the grant because I know mine was better. We're all different, and then we have different giftings, different understandings. And so when we compare ourselves to other people, it honestly robs God of pouring out his creativity through you in a particular manner. So I'm going to tell y'all of a story time that happened to me this week. So I've been, really gung-ho and holding myself accountable to making sure I'm consistent with posting, consistent with recording episodes, and just consistency with the creative things in which I do in my life. So I was on my YouTube, and I was just looking at the different little options of ways that you can interact with followers. Matter of fact, if y'all are not following me on YouTube, you need to. Okay, something weird. If y'all could put in the comments and help me out, that would be great. But when I searched T is for today, and I know probably you all have tried to as well, it comes up all this random stuff that is not me. So if you're ever on Instagram and you're looking for if you're ever on YouTube and looking for the podcast show page, in the search bar, put the at symbol and then type T is for today as one word and then underscore, then my videos will pop up. But if someone can help me fix it, that would be great. Anyways, back to the story. I was on YouTube and I was trying to figure out, or just trying to put content out for the different ways that I can interact with followers. And I was like, oh, I can do a short. I know that a lot of times people will take what they post from Instagram or TikTok. I do not have one for the podcast, but they'll take their content from those pages and then post them across all the platforms. And then I was like, yeah, I could do it that way, or I could do it another way. So me being very well-meaning, I just want to add a little razzle-dazzle to the video, because I was going to take a clip of something I've said and then post it, and so people can listen to the full episode to get the full meaning of what I said, right? That, sounds very simple, doesn't it? So what did I do? Jessica went and looked at other people's shorts because I wanted to get ideas. That was my first mistake, okay? See, comparison can often come in as something very well-meaning. I just wanted to get ideas, see examples. Who told me to do that? Nobody. I told myself to do that. And so I saw some examples of, how I could do it that looked nice. I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to incorporate a little bit of this and incorporate a little bit of that. Sometimes, I'm not going to say every time you look at an example, you start comparing, but when we look at an example of something, it automatically puts a filter on our creativity, because now we have a picture of how we think that the exemplar should look like. So that was happening for me. That may not happen for everybody, but I'm just saying in general, when you look at other things, it does put a filter on what you already gonna put out there. That's why a lot of times when people are like, I'll say people are real creatives, not that you and I are fake creatives, but like when people are artists and things of that nature, they'll take time and they'll seclude themselves and then map out and sketch or paint or draw whatever they feel led to do in a place that doesn't have any distractions. Because if they're in an environment that already has like artwork and different things of that nature, it can be very easy to duplicate or have an extension of what is already put out there, instead of bringing your uniqueness to the field in which you work. All right, so back to the story. We went up on a little tangent. Back to the story. So, I'm like, okay, cool. I got my examples. I'm about to go up on this software and make some magic. That's what I was thinking to myself, right? So I go on CapCut. Now I'm doing all the stuff. And I immediately, y'all, I start feeling discontentment. Like, I'm not liking how this looks. This is stupid. Why am I even putting this on there? And I'm thinking to myself, this shouldn't be this hard. Up until that point this week, I have been recording videos and putting videos on the YouTube page. No problem. The moment that I decided to venture off from the visual that had already established for myself, is when I was just thrown into chaos and confusion, y'all. I was literally there like, it should not take all this. It really does not. Is this what people go through? I see why people outsource people to edit their stuff. These are all thoughts that were going through my head. Y'all, I was this close to just saying, forget YouTube. We ain't about to have no content on there no more if this is what it's about to be like. Because I am someone that really, I value peace of mind. If you stressing me out, you can get cut with a quickness. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to be doing people's foolishness, nonsense, trying to stress me out. You can take that and go over there, and I'm going to go over here. And that's how I was feeling about YouTube at the time. I can go over here, it can go over there. And I had to take a moment because I was really about to be done with it. And I'm like, Jess, we've come too far. We've come too far to throw in the towel now. So I had to think to myself, what is the problem? And I realized the problem was I was comparing myself and what I do to the examples that I saw, because I saw that they were, they had videos that had lots of hits or whatever. And I'm thinking like, okay, well, I can incorporate some of those things. That was inauthentic to who I was. Right? So comparison also robs you of your authenticity if you let it. Because it's so easy for you to be new in something and you be seeing all the people that's big time and you're like, dang, man, I'm trying to get where they at. Right? But it's funny because not a couple of weeks ago, because I've only just been consistent on this thing for 2 weeks now. So I'll say 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I made a reel of a scripture, and it said, "Don't despise the humble beginnings." And it's so true. When I posted, I was like, okay, yeah, that's good, cool. Like, this is very inspirational. People can glean from this, not knowing that it would bring me back to the moment that I felt this week when I was ready to just risk it all and just throw it all away. Like, Jess, you cannot despise the humble beginnings where you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 followers that you can count on one hand. You got followers that you can count on maybe 2 hands, okay? And you're growing, and you can input your name there. Input your name. You can say, we cannot despise the humble beginnings. Insert name. We all have to start from somewhere. I was literally saying that, not knowing that I was talking to myself. I thought I was just talking to someone out there in the internet worlds. I don't know. Who knew the message was for me? I do now. And so, I want to get back to my points. Yes, we were talking about authenticity. And so, yeah, we all start from somewhere, and we may start small, but the more authentic you are to yourself, the more that your projects, the more that your business, whatever it is that you're doing, that it can grow. And it's going to grow and be sustainable. Something that Instagram does, I don't know if TikTok does it either, because I have a TikTok, but I'm not on the platform. Honestly, it's just very confusing to me. I feel very old saying that. I don't know how to work that thing. I really don't. I actually enlisted somebody to help me. But anywho, they have this thing where it's like you can pick a sound that's trending. So if the sound is trending, you put it on your video or your picture or whatever, you can get more views on your stuff. And at first, I was like, oh, okay. But then I thought about it. Is that authentic to who I am? And it's honestly no. And I asked you all the question, do you want to be a trending sound? Something that can be hot one day and not the next? Or do you want to have a lasting impact? If you want to just be a trending sound, okay, by all means, do all the trendy things and catchy things that come out. And I'm not saying that if you do those things, it's bad. I'm not saying that at all. Some of those things are actually very beneficial for you getting views bringing people to your page. Because I've even used some of the trending sounds before. So please don't misconstrued what I'm saying and think that. But in the grand scheme of things, talking about comparison and comparing our day 1 to someone's day 90, do you want to grow influence by being a trending sound, or do you want to grow influence by being an authentic voice? 2 different things. One may get you there fairly quickly. The other may be slowed down. The other, or it could be quick as well, because people see your realness and they're drawn to that. And so I just want to remind us that comparison is not only a thief of joy, but a thief of peace of mind, a thief of clarity, a thief of creativity, a thief of everything. And there's no reason why that we should feel the need to compare ourselves to other people, because we're all different. We're all different. All have different giftings, and we're all going to have different ways in which that gifting, what it looks like in the world. So for this episode, I want to leave you with something that I'm reading in my notes to find. Oh, I already said it, but So, what I want to leave you with is the question: do you want to be a trending sound or an authentic voice? And once you figure out which one you want to be, roll with it. Don't look at what other people are doing. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. But focus on what your vision is for that project and run with it. Because the moment you start comparing yourself to others, you've already lost, to be honest. It happened to me, but I reeled myself back in and just remember, like, girl, you tripping. That's literally what I said. Girl, you tripping. And you know what I did? I turned off everything. I think I took a nap. Yeah, I think I took a long blink. And then I woke up. I thought, okay, I'm not gonna give up. I know this comparison thing is just here to trip me up, so we're gonna cast that out. In the name of Jesus, we rebuke it, okay? And we're gonna get back to what we're doing, because this is the year that we don't just give up when things get hard or when they don't look like what we thought. We gotta keep pushing, okay? So, thank you all for tuning into this week's episode. If the content of this topic blessed you, if it got your insides all bubbling up with things and yeah, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna do better, leave me a comment, like, subscribe, do everything that gets people noticing your content, and share this episode with somebody that needs to hear it. Share this episode with somebody that needs to hear it. That is a part of your homework too. All right, guys. So that is all that we have for this week. And I'll see you all, or you will hear me in the near future. Bye, y'all. See, when you watching on YouTube, you get to see the facial expressions. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all see my ring light, but my contacts really were bothering me, so I wasn't about to be wearing them for this whole episode, so they had to come off. But thank you all for tuning in on YouTube, and I will catch you all on the next video.